Hi, I'm Sim and this is Steve, and we're going to talk about if you know something's a lie, would you die for a lie?
God believes in you!
Well, talking about that, would you die for a lie, especially when you know it's a lie? And what we're looking at is you get the first 300 years of the history of the early church and what was going on there, and right to the very time frame, right when Jesus was crucified and resurrected, and there are other Christians dying. The first one to die was Jesus. He died for the cause, and then but he kind of cheated that and came back to life. So
yeah, he resurrected.
Yeah,
praise Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to do it if you're going to die. But so he comes back though, and but you have all these other Christians that are dying, these people that are following Christ. And so some people want to say that, it's all just a lie. Well, who the heck is dying for this lie? Because the ones that were dying were in on the lie.
Right.
If this is a lie. And they're just giving up their life? Why? Why would you do that? How would, who's going to die for a lie? They know it's like, all right,
it's a scam.
It. Yeah, we were just ripping you off. Put the spears and swords away. It was a joke. You ever watch a prank videos? Prank, with the videos, let it go.
You've been punked.
Yeah. And, who's dying for that? And then for 300 years, they're dying for this. And so, they had to be in on this scam and then dying for it makes no... What's the purpose? What it said was they getting together, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make up this good story. We're going to die for this. People are going to kill us because of the story. We're going to make this up because, in a couple thousand years, there's some pastors who are going to get rich off it.
Right.
So that's what we're going to set this video. It's like, who's doing? Nobody's doing that, so it doesn't even make sense.
Right.
So why would you die for a lie? So you look at the first 300 years of the church, and man, it was rough. Now things changed, and actually a lot of corruption entered the church because it became a state church, and and that's a whole nother discussion. But the first 300 years was a rough deal, and especially in that first bit of time that they're facing this huge persecution, not just from the Roman government. Their own compatriots, the Jewish faith that we talked about in a previous episode, all points to Jesus. And
right.
You read all the Old Testament, all the Jewish faith is pointing to this Messiah.
Right.
And they want to kill all the Christians. The Apostle Paul used to be Saul, and his pastime was going around hunting down Christians and having them put to death.
And the thing it's amazing, I really like the four Gospels, but Paul draws my attention the most because here he was honestly trying to snuff out this cult, if you may, or this false movement of the Messiah. This is a false prophet, blah, 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 blah. I'm taking care of business here. And then obviously the Christians were praying for him, and then Jesus shows up and they all fall down. Paul's the only one who's seen it, but if you read, I think in Acts chapter 26, Paul talks about how the rest of the guys fell down. They fell too. So there's eyewitnesses account that something happened. I mean, if I'm riding along with Paul and all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, what the heck? But Paul, to me, his story, having an encounter with Jesus, he's come to snuff this out. And then before you know it, he goes from coming and persecuting to preaching that Jesus is the Christ. It's powerful. You want to take it from there?
And he's not the last one. That's what's neat about that. You've got people like C.S. Lewis and Josh McDowell and the guy that has the cold case investigation, and you got these people that dug into scripture to prove that Jesus and that whole thing's just a hoax. And they became some of the greatest preachers for the gospel. And so again and again, you see an encounter with Christ, an encounter with truth changes them, and it's such a powerful thing. And but digging into that, it's like you got nothing to gain with it. It's not like Paul had everything to gain to continue being a Jewish theologian, trying to exterminate this new movement talking about
power,
Messiah.
He had position.
Yeah, and he lost everything by doing that, by becoming a Christian theologian. He wanted to lose everything, got stoned several times, he had all kinds of stuff happen to him.
He had a great career being a tent maker.
Yeah.
He had a great career being a tent maker.
But yeah, I mean, you look at that, and that's just, there's who's gonna die for a lie, especially when they know it's a lie. I mean, like
drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So that's just a great thing to look at when you're dealing with the authenticity of the New Testament scripture.
God is for you and me.
Join us tomorrow.
just shall live by faith.
If you would like to have future updates on videos and events, like us on the Facebook page, and also we'd appreciate it if you subscribed to our YouTube channel. You have a great day.